You want to sing it this time? You want me to do it?
No, go ahead.
It's wrinkled sheets. It's wrinkled sheets. It's really kind of neat. Listen to wrinkled sheets. Yeah.
And we're back with a new Wrinkled Sheets podcast.
Yeah. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm Janet.
I'm Steve.
And we are the McGrews.
If you have not listened to us before, why? We've been doing this now welcome. But why? We've been doing this now, 4 or 5 years, if not longer.
I'm pretty sure it's longer.
It's longer than that, isn't it?
Yeah, because my Two Girls podcast has been going for 7 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, time flies, doesn't
It
it?
does. It really does.
It really does.
But we're back with the Wrinkled Sheets podcast right before you're about to take off to Alaska.
Yeah. Now, did we do a podcast? Have we done one since your birthday?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So happy birthday.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, she turned
38.
I wasn't going to say it.
It's fine.
All right. Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Your birthday month is over. I don't know how you ladies do that. No guy ever goes, you know what this is? My birthday month.
Right?
But you guys make a month out of it.
But we don't. Wait, at the beginning of the month, I'm like, woohoo, July, it's my birthday month. But it's not like every day I'm like, it's July.
Well, you do start doing it's birthday week.
Yes, I do the week. I'm a big birthday guy. I love birthdays.
What is it about birthdays? Why does that excite you so much? Because some people are like, oh, whatever. It's no big deal to me.
So if I think about it briefly, my family wasn't one to really throw parties or get together.
Uh-huh.
But when it came to birthdays, we always went to my grandma's house. She made us a homemade cake. There were gifts, and we all got together.
So that's why the birthday was extra special. What kind of cake did she make? The same one every year? Was
Carrot
it different?
cake.
So that would be your birthday request?
Yes.
Mine
My
is,
dad's was German chocolate.
I'm cheesecake.
Yes.
Your carrot cake.
Yes.
See, we just learned something in the very first few minutes of
Wrinkled
Sheets.
I like carrot cake now. I think
You don't
it's not
love
my
it?
favorite anymore. You know what I love? I love strawberry cake with the strawberry buttercream icing. It's pink, but that's not why I love it. I love that cake.
What's your other favorite cakes?
What do you mean?
I mean, there's so many cakes and pies and stuff. What's another cake that you'd go, yes?
Red velvet.
Red velvet? Mm-hmm. I like, and I haven't had it in a really long time, and it's not really a cake as much as it is where you take that devil's food thing and you put strawberries on it and then you whip cream it. Does that have a name?
Isn't that strawberry shortcake?
Is that what that is?
That's what my dad used to call it, but my dad told me things that weren't always right. So...
Because I've always liked that, like a big devil's food cake. You know, when you cut the big slice of that, it's always soft.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's some good stuff.
It really,
And we have not had a lot of that since we've been doing keto.
No.
But you looked up a recipe the other day.
Because my favorite pie is pecan pie.
Yep.
And I have found a recipe for a keto-friendly pecan pie. I don't know when I'm going to have the chance to try making it, but it's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
Right.
Is it really, really keto-friendly, or does it just fall in the category of, this is keto-ish and it's probably better for you than the real thing?
It's kind of like we do cheesecake, the keto cheesecake. It's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the keto bread that I was looking tonight that we had. It's keto bread, it says it on it. But you look at it and you go, hey, there's seven carbs per slice here. And
if you subtract the fiber,
I know.
it's 0 net carbs.
Yeah, and it falls in, you can have so many
Yes, because how you calculate carbs on keto is you take the carbs minus the fiber in the item, and that is your net carbs. So that's the carbs you count.
I saw one of our followers on Instagram had posted about because I put a picture of me in an old shirt. I've lost enough weight on keto that I'm back in a shirt that I haven't worn in years. You know, one of those things.
Congrats.
Thank you. And somebody wrote, I'm down 26 pounds since May. I'm like, How do some people lose so fast? Like it took me almost 6 months to lose 30
Everybody's
pounds.
different. Everybody's different.
Don't you think it's...
Everybody's different. You can't compare yourself to others.
Is it metabolism or just the different way people do keto?
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
Oh. Well,
but
you were
everyone's body reacts
just different.
differently to different things.
Right. Okay. Well, enough keto talk before we run everybody away. And,
But I do have to say, one of the best things about my birthday is I got to meet Miranda Lambert.
Oh, that's right. You did. You got a meet and greet.
Yes, and I got to meet her husband, and my best friend from California came into town, and we just had so much fun. I'd never been to a rodeo in Cheyenne, and went to a Cheyenne rodeo, and it was pretty freaking amazing. It was hot, so hot.
Well, you got the meet and greet,
hot.
but she didn't, so she had to wait out there?
Yeah, but she was fine. I got her makeup bag signed.
Oh.
For her, to Monica. Love Miranda Lambert. Yeah. It
Nice
was
job.
so much fun. And then we went to...
Oh, you didn't tell me that you almost fell down in front of Miranda.
Oh,
like
goodness.
right in front of her.
Yeah, it was not the greatest...
What did you trip on?
A crack. So I was coming around, like, they put us in this line to meet Miranda. And you don't see her. She's behind this wall, and when it's your turn, you get pulled around the wall to meet her, to get the picture. And so I'm just like getting all excited, and it's my turn. I hand my phone to someone because they want to hold your phone so you can not have things in your hand. And so I like come around the corner, and I guess there was a crack, and I have the problem of not picking up my feet. I trip on cracks constantly, and I tripped, and I like lurched toward Miranda. And I was like, oh.
Did she reach out like, I got to catch you? Or she
Yes.
like step? She did?
She was kind of like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, I am so glad I didn't fall on top of you. And she's like, yeah, me too. And I was like, dang it. And so I was really freaked out. Like, I was like, here, will you sign this to Monica with a K? That's my best friend. She's out there. She didn't get the meet and greet. So can you sign it to her? And she's like, yeah, and I'll sign your meet and greet too. So she signed my meet and greet pass. So I actually got an autograph too.
Don't they say they're only signed one thing or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And some meet and greets don't allow them to sign
at all.
anything.
You just kind of step up, take a picture, keep moving, step
And
up.
she's like, oh, I love your hair. And I'm like, oh. So then it was picture time, and I was still very freaked out. And it's not my best
Did
meet
you
and
make her
greet
do
photo.
Charlie's Angels again?
I did not.
Okay.
I kept it very normal, very normal. But the really cool thing is there was this girl in line right behind me, and she had blonde hair, dreadlocks, like very different than me. Mm-hmm. Me, I'm in this pink skirt, and I'm like, oh, woo! She's just like playing it cool, dreadlocks, and I was like, oh, exciting! And she's like, yeah, and I was like, okay, cool. Why are you here? I'm like, she must have won like a radio contest, and was like, oh, fine, I'll meet Miranda Lambert.
You don't think she was a Miranda Lambert
wait,
fan? Okay.
wait for it.
Oh, I got ahead. Okay, I got ahead.
So after the meet and greet, they just kind of push you back out into the general public. So I like step out into the world, and I'm like slowly walking, just like taking it all in. And like all of a sudden, Dreadlock Girl is next to me, and she's like, wasn't that cool? And I was like, yeah, it really was. She's like, did you do anything cool for your picture? I was like, no, I almost fell on her. So I just was happy to be able to take a picture with her. And she's like, yeah. She's like, and she pulls out her arm, and she has the wings with the cross pistols on her arm. This girl does.
Right. She had a tattoo of,
Yes.
of Miranda's logo thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I had her pull out her cross pistols, and we took a picture with our cross pistols. And I was like, that's so cool. I have the cross pistols too. She's like, yeah, I was just, she's from Tennessee, and she was online, and she just signed up for the meet and greet, and she won it. And so she bought a ticket to Cheyenne Frontier Days.
Wow, must be nice to be able to just...
I don't know what she does. We didn't talk much, but I was like, this is why you don't judge a book by its cover. Because her and I had way more in common than I would have ever thought.
You thought, who is this dirty hippie and
No,
why?
I didn't. I was just like, that's not what I thought. But that was really cool. It was a really cool birthday week. It was exhausting, But it was really, really cool. And then you came back into town, and you've been home for 2 weeks, and it's been amazing.
And now I'm ready to leave again, and you're excited.
No, I'm not.
Now, was your Miranda Lambert meet and greet
Oh, my gosh.
as
Two
good,
different worlds.
as good as getting to go hang with the Oak Ridge boys?
Can I tell this story from my point of view?
You tell it from your point of view, because I got the feeling that was the most exciting day of your life.
It was pretty freaking amazing. So what happened is Steve comes home, and we share an Apple calendar, and you came home, and I was like, oh, so Saturday you have that the Oak Ridge boys are in town, and you're like, oh, I forgot. And I was like, well, tickets are only $30-something. And you're like, I'll just reach out to the boys. The boys.
Yeah.
So you send a text to Joe and Dwayne. And you're like, hey, I see you're going to be in town. I'm in town. I would love to come out and see you. And they're like, yeah, that's great. And I was like, so...
And they were like, come on out. And that was it. That was the end of the statement.
And I'm like, so tickets are only $30-something. Do you want to get those now? And you were like, yeah, I'll look at it. Okay. But then a couple days go by, and the concert, probably Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so did you buy tickets? And you're like, oh, no, we're on the list. And I'm like, oh, okay, good. That was handled. We are going to this concert, and we're on the list. That's fantastic. Well, the morning of Oak Ridge Boys Concert Day, my company had its annual summer gathering. It was Family Fun Day at Bar Lake, which is full
Never
of...
been there before. Gorgeous lake, by the way. If you live in Colorado
full
listening...
of algae.
Duh, but it's a gorgeous area.
And I convinced you to paddleboard.
I did my very first paddleboard.
You did great.
I normally like the kayak, but
it wasn't an option, so you did the paddleboard.
with you. It was fun.
It was. I was really scared because I woke up that morning and I went, okay, I'm going to do my hair because we have this concert. I'm going to do decent makeup, but not crazy makeup.
Because we have to go somewhere right after this.
But the thing I was most scared of is paddleboarding and falling into the water. And then when I looked at the water, it's full of algae. And I was like, oh, dear God, if I fall in this water...
You're going to have to redo your hair.
There's going to be a shower and a whole hair process involved. But I did good. I was so proud of myself because I wasn't not going to stand up. Like, it was too beautiful of a day. So the Family Fun Day ends. But right before it ends, you're like, hey... Their road manager, Oak Ridge Boys road manager, just called and wanted to find out our plans. And I was like, what? Okay, what are our plans?
Yeah, Derek's like, what's the plan for you guys? What do you want to do? Where do you want to meet?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. What's good for you guys?
I'm like, let's get in the car. Let's get home. Bar Lake is like an hour from our house. So let's get the heck home. Let's freshen up. And so then come to find out, we're going to meet them at their hotel. And we're going to follow them into the venue because they were going to take their own personal chauffeur.
The bus was too big for them to take into this venue because it's a kind of a smaller, intimate. It's called Hudson Gardens. It's a great place to see a concert. But they were just going to be chauffeured into the venue.
And like all of a sudden, like at first, we're going to go say hi to them at the hotel. And then in my mind, I'm like, okay, then we'll go to the venue and we're just on the list. We'll get in.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I guess we're going to follow them into the venue. So, okay, weird. We get ready to do that, and they throw us a couple VIP passes. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. If we're going to follow them, we'll be in the back part of the stage area. And then we'll probably just go out into the crowd and watch the concert. So we get there, and they even had to stop once and wait for us because their driver ran a red light. Sunset Limousine.
I know, you were like, that man just took the lives of the Oak Ridge Boys into danger.
So we finally get backstage.
But you were like freaked out, sort of like they were waiting. How nice is that? They waited on us. The band itself.
The Oak Ridge Boys were like, wait, we must wait for Steve. And I'm like, I cannot believe that just happened. So then we pull up backstage, we park, and then we go hang out in the green room, and you guys are chatting, and we're chatting, and it was just really cool. And I'm like, okay, anytime they're going to tell us, okay, go out into the general public and watch the show.
Yeah, go get some seats and get ready.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, do you want to sit out there with the general public, or do you want to grab a chair on stage? And I was like, what? Like, what? And I didn't want to like react, But then they were like, well, why don't you introduce us, talking to you.
Yeah, then that
They're
got
like,
me.
Steve, why don't you introduce us? We'll get you set up in chairs on the side of the stage. And I'm just like, whoa. So we go to the side of the stage and you get nervous. I see it in your face. I was like, do you know what you're going to say?
I haven't done that in years.
Right.
Other than my stand-up, I'll jump on stage all the time.
And I'm like, you need to run by
What are you going to say?
What are the things you should say? I pull up their Twitter. I look at their summary. I'm like, this is what it says on their Twitter. I was trying to be an assistant. I was trying
Members
to...
of the Hall of Fame.
Country music.
Members of the Grand Ole Opry, Country Music Hall of Fame, and Gospel Music Hall of Fame. And but you were like, but what else are you going to say? What else are you going to?
Right.
Are you going to tell a little story about it?
But I wasn't talking nonstop. No. I was just trying to help you
focus a little.
Yeah. So we're standing side stage, and they bring us a chair. But I was like, I'm not ready to sit, but I should sit. Because I'm a little too excited. And then you do the introduction, the band comes out.
And it went well.
Oh, yeah,
the introduction was so great. I mean, I'm tooting my own horn.
You did amazing.
But it went well, and people, I came out and went, you guys, you may remember me as Mudflap from KYGO, and they were like, yeah! It's like,
yes.
It was so weird, because that's been, 7 years since I was on the radio? Mm-hmm. And they were still like, and I cracked a couple jokes about country music and new country, and they were like, yeah!
Yes.
So,
And then the boys came out, and then right after the boys came out, the guitar player stopped playing because he had to hand us our second chair.
The guitar player stopped playing.
I was like, this
in the middle of a song
real.
And handed Janet a chair.
And so, I'm standing there and singing along to American Made and all the songs, and Joe and Dwayne, and I think that even William Lee and Richard would look over and
after
smile.
a while.
I was like, this is so crazy. It was just amazing. And I posted on my Insta story, on my Facebook stories, and one of my girlfriends was like, are you serious? If you would have told me. And I was like, I had no idea. People don't understand. These aren't things that are planned.
No, it was just like, oh, that's cool. They're going to do this for us. Oh, that's nice that they're going to do this.
Yeah. And at one point, they brought you out. I don't even remember.
Yeah, they brought
why.
me. They wanted to bring me out again for doing a nice job, on the intro and being a friend of theirs. And Joe's like, I've known him for years. I just want to say thanks for.
And Dwayne's like, Janet, come out. And I was like, what? I am just the wife.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm out on stage, I wave.
Yeah,
then we go back to this.
And I thought, okay, that was pretty cool in itself.
That was amazing.
And that was unnecessary, but very nice.
And then we continued to just rock out.
Enjoy the show.
It was a great show.
I love that song. What was the new one that I said I liked? Pray to Jesus, but play the lotto or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that new song.
And then at the very end, after Elvira and Bobby Sue,
Bobby.
They always do a bow, and they're like, Steve, Janet, come out. And I was like, are you kidding me? I get to bow with the Oak Ridge Boys.
Bow. You took a bow on stage at a concert with hundreds
I was
of
between
people.
Dwayne and Joe, right?
Yeah.
And you were on the other side of Joe, and it was just, But then, just like that, poof, they go.
Yeah, they ran off. They're
like,
off stage.
follow us now. You started talking to one of the musicians.
One of the guitar players started talking to me.
And Derek's like, damn it, we got to get him off the stage.
We got to get him off the stage. Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, oh my God, we're going to get in trouble. So they're like, get in your car. We're leaving. And I was like, that's it? So we're like, bye, guys.
Bye, guys. We just waved at them. They're already in the car. Bye, thank you.
And then we follow them out of the venue and we come home and wow.
And it was quite the night.
And one of your Facebook friends
posted a picture.
Grabbed the picture of us being on stage. And I was so thankful for that.
And I wrote, when we got home, I wrote Joe and the guys, Dwayne, in a mass note. And I said, thanks for everything. That was, we didn't expect it, but, thank you for everything.
Right.
And they wrote back, thanks to you. What they put to you, but thanks for making the stage pretty or something like that.
So good to see both of you. Thank you for the introduction, and to Janet for bringing some beauty to our stage.
Now, how nice is that?
They are the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And I have always had a love for quartets ever since the Kingsmen. And dang. It was unreal. Like, both of us were wired. We didn't go to sleep till like 1 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
Just from like pure adrenaline happiness. I had to I didn't drink all night because we were side stage. And it's not like we have access to alcohol. And I got home, and I don't typically do a nightcap. I'm not a nightcap type girl, but I was like, I must have a nightcap.
I'm going to have a cocktail. Calm down here.
Yes.
Calm down here.
And so, like, even the next day, I was like Marco Poloing with my best friend Monica, and I was like, so this is what happened. And so she responds, she's like, I had sent her Marco Polos during the show, and she responded after she had had a few cocktails, and she was like, you said you were going to a concert. You didn't say you were going to be in a concert.
I don't.
So explain to her. She was like, that is phenomenal, because she knows how much I love the Oak Ridge Boys. One time, our buddy Flip and I drove home to Missouri together, and he was speeding like a maniac. But it's right when we got into Springfield, there was an Oak Ridge Boys billboard because they were playing in Branson. And I was like, oh, the Oak Ridge Boys. And he was like, F, Janet, F. You don't scream like that when someone's driving. And I was like, oh, it's just so good to be home.
You just got so excited. you saw something you recognized.
Right.
Well, you had told a story, I don't know if you told it on here before, that when you used to work as a waitress in Branson,
Yes.
that Richard, one of the Oak Ridge Boys, would come in to where
the
you
bass
worked.
singer, yeah. I worked at the Outback Pub as a waitress, and he would come in and eat. I forget what he would eat, because he would sit at the bar, so I wasn't his waitress, and he'd drink a Red Stripe. And, you know, working in Branson, you're told to play it cool.
Yeah.
You know, Mickey Gilly's been there. I think Roy Clark came in once. Like, all of these phenomenal people, and I had to play it cool. Mm-hmm. And I just remember, because he would always come in a little early, because their shows were probably at like 6,
7, earlier.
Because it's Branson. And so it wasn't busy yet. And I was just like, that's Richard. That's Richard from the Oak Ridge Boys. Does anyone else care? No one else cared.
Did you ever say anything to him at any
No.
point? Because we've been with him a few
was
times.
told
So
not
you've
to.
never, but I'm saying later on now.
I
You've
think
never,
we did tell him once.
That's what I was
we
thinking.
We talked about it. Yeah. About how I was a waitress at the Outback Pub. And he was like, oh, I forget what he said he liked. But I was like, yeah, I remember you drinking Red Stripe.
Well, right before, it was a few days before the concert, that Joe Bonzel had posted a throwback picture
Of us at the baseball
of
game.
us when we went to the Rockies game. But that was the first time, and you didn't think they were going to happen. You're like, we're going to go meet the Oak Ridge Boys at the game. And you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. And we talked about this early in the podcast, because you're like, oh, guys have always lied. Guys have lied. So I didn't think you were telling the truth. So
it was a phenomenal Saturday. It was amazing.
We were talking about, I lost my car keys at that game.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this.
We have. But it was Joe, when we were backstage last night, when he was talking about how William, in his smooth voice, goes, do you think maybe you left him in the bathroom?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I'll never forget that. Joe didn't even forget it. That William was like, you think you left him in the bathroom?
William Lee, we haven't spent much time, but he isn't a man of many words. But when he talks, they're little zingers of awesomeness.
Yeah, he's got a really cool sense of humor.
And he takes off his hat and thanks the crowd for clapping after every song that he leads.
You were like, that is so cool.
Classy.
Classy. That's the word to use, classy. That is so cool.
And I'm sure as a kid I was drawn to him because of the long beard and just the coolness of him. But yeah, it was a phenomenal night. Yeah.
One you will never forget.
Never, ever in my life. Ever.
Now, we're going to go see, on September the 7th, we're going to go see Mark Wills and Lori
Morgan. I got to say, Lori Morgan's on the list.
Of people you like?
I want to see. I've never
I've never seen her live either.
Oh.
And so Mark,
I'm going to start binging some Lori Morgan music.
well, see, Mark reached out today. I talked to Mark today about, he goes, oh man, anything, getting you guys in. Yeah, no problem. What do you need? What do you guys want? What do you need? See you. So we may have a Mark Wills,
Never walk in.
Lori Moore.
Never walk in with that expectation.
Never walk in expecting. But I'm just saying.
That's
like,
what I tell everyone, because everyone after the fact, they're like, oh my gosh, Janet, how did you make this happen? I don't make anything happen. It's not like I have friends that are those pushy people, and I have never been that pushy person.
There is a comic here in town, and I won't say the name, who I always wonder, he is in every backstage at every concert, like everything, baseball games with the, back outside the locker room, football games pictured with concerts, like how it's almost like one of those things. Does he superimpose himself in it? But he doesn't. He's one of those guys that smoozes.
He knows everyone. He probably knows a lot of people.
And you're like, but that seems like a lot to smooze, like, town, can I get tickets? Hey, y'all are playing tonight. Can I? Yeah.
He takes away the special, I think, if it were to happen that much.
I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Mark Wills and Lori Morgan. Someone asked me today, what's the next concert you're going to? I was like, we're going to Midland in October. I forgot about Mark Wills and Lori Morgan.
I am excited about Midland.
I know. It's one of the very few newer artists that you are down with.
Yeah, very. I love that first album. Everything about it. I like their look. I like the style. I like the sound. I like the singer's voice. Like you played a song the other day that I thought was okay song, but the singer's voice didn't work for me.
Right.
I was like, I don't like the. But something
Riley
about
Green. He's not a Riley Green guy.
Something about the whole Midland thing works for me. Except now, and this is not a big exception, they're releasing, as a lot of bands are doing now, one song, and they released one the other day, and I went like, oof.
But I think they've released another one since then.
They did.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I don't think it was received as well as...
You can't get all diamonds. No. Another thing that we did this weekend, we went and saw a movie.
We went to see the new Quentin Tarantino movie, the 9th movie by Quentin Tarantino.
And he only said he was going to do 10, right?
That's what he says, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, it was slow moving. Yes, it was slow moving. In hindsight, I'm fine. I'm glad we went. But during the time, I was like...
I saw you almost turn over and go to sleep.
Well,
if you'd been watching a movie at home, that's exactly what you would have done. Like, I'm listening. I'm not watching, but I'm listening.
And it's like less than 5 minutes and I'm out every single time. Every single time. But I really, in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to turn over and listen to the show.
I think there was a lot of stuff in this movie that you didn't
get. Yeah, so right before recording this podcast, we watched a YouTube video that was 25 things that you may have missed when watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And a lot of the stuff is before my time, so and I'm not into old Hollywood. I don't know the things. And I didn't even know that the movie was around the Charles Manson.
You didn't know that even after we walked out. I go, did you not realize that's why they didn't die in the end? The twist is not the...
Didn't. No.
You didn't...
I'm an idiot.
The Spawn Ranch thing didn't... No.
Didn't know. I'd never heard of Spawn Ranch.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But, so what'd you think of the movie?
I liked the movie because it was a period that I lived through.
And cowboys.
I knew that a lot of the stuff was real. Like, I kept saying to you, like, that guy's playing Steve McQueen. Or I picked out the cameos. And so, but to me, I said the same thing. It was a little too long.
Right.
It could have been tightened up. But
Brad Pitt is great when he takes his shirt off. I'm sorry, husband. I can say that because, he did look really good.
For his age.
Yeah.
He looks damn good. I'll have to give it to him.
I was like, yes, he's still cute.
But what about the scene where he took off his shirt? Like,
when he's on the roof.
Was it necessary? He went
Yes.
up to fix an antenna on the roof,
It was necessary.
and he just took off his shirt.
It connected his storyline with the other storyline that was happening.
But the removal of the shirt, I understand the what was happening when he went on the roof. He saw some things.
I may not have remembered that scene without the shirt removal.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
What?
It was a very pivotal scene in the
if
movie.
Margot Robbie had taken off her shirt, you'd remember it.
Oh, I would have.
Now that sounds creepy because she's much younger.
So are you.
But she's like much younger than me.
No, she's not, is she?
Yeah, she's like 20s.
Get out.
She's like 12 years younger than me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you look so much younger than her.
You're so sweet. You might get some lovin'.
Yeah, teaching.
Yeah, it was from my perspective, it was a good movie. Was it worth leaving my house to see? Probably not. But I'm a homebody. I would have probably watched it on Netflix.
You really are a homebody. I mean, if you did not have to go to work, I don't think you would leave the house. I think if you could have a job that you didn't have to leave the house, you would never leave the house.
No, that's not true. So in the winter, I think I was snowed in for 2 days in a row.
Uh-huh.
And I was ready to get the F out of the house. I was like, because we were snowed in Wednesday and Thursday. We left early on Tuesday, snowed in Wednesday, snowed in Thursday. I remember it was Friday. I was like, finally Friday, get out of the house. I got to go to the office. And I was so ready. But if I had like the opportunity to work from home once a week, I'd be down. But it's I know that's not, it's a slippery slope for me. It is a slippery slope. Like, if it were up to me, I wouldn't have any plans on my calendar. I would just go to work and come home.
I will preface this part of the story by saying I am not typically a coupon person. I think it's kind of weird that you want to use a coupon. Like, hold on, I got a nickel off of this. But I saw a coupon for a steak place here in town.
It's a barbecue place.
What's a barbecue place? It's in Aspen and
but the
here.
coupon was for a steak.
And the coupon was for a steak. And it caught my eye. And Janet, I could get Janet out of the house for a steak. If I show her
this. Are you
this,
serious?
Yeah. I go, that's why do you think it was laying there? I cut it out. I laid it on the counter.
I try to cook dinner at home because I think it's a better value for your money.
Oh, well, it is. But I was thinking to get out of the house.
I'm sorry, babe.
And I thought, and you were like, oh, what nights is this? We better use it tomorrow night then. And so
It didn't sound like that.
Okay, you better use it tomorrow night then. But we went. What was it? A Hickory House.
Yeah.
And that was a massive steak.
It was great. It ended up being dinner the next night.
That was a massive steak.
It was so good.
And I was surprised because I always thought of it as a barbecue place. I've been there for lunch and had barbecue and didn't pay any attention to steaks because I'm not a steak person like you.
I am a steak girl.
But when I saw that, like, they serve steaks too. And as we were leaving, I go, have we found a new place? And you're like, this isn't a new place. You've talked about coming here before. But I go, I know.
Yes,
but is it
we found a new place.
Okay.
Where did you get the coupon? So we can look for it again.
It was in one of those, you know, how we get the
penny saver things.
Yeah, one of those magazines that we normally just throw away.
Does it bother you that I'm a homebody?
It doesn't bother me. There's times that I think, you know, we'll look out the window and it's still daylight. Mm-hmm. It's still daylight. Like, and there's people cutting their grass outside.
And I'm putting on my pajamas.
And you're like, we should go to bed now and watch this before I fall asleep. But I'm thinking, there's people out in the yard with their kids. There's people cutting grass, enjoying the summer. And you're like, hey, you probably go to bed. And I've even said to you, like, hey, do you want to go sit on the deck? And, you know, like in the afternoon, you're like, why don't we just eat and in bed and watch TV? And like, you're ready when you come home from work.
I think I have like the working man blues during the week. Like, I just want to get the week over. I just want to get up in the morning, sometimes work out, sometimes not, go to work, do my job, come home, go to bed until I hit the weekend, and then
that almost sounds like a prison kind of thing, though. Don't you feel like one of those people a lot of times that come home from work, and as soon as they get home from work, they want to do their own thing? So you always seem to be like, I'd rather just go to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow. But people come home and be like, now's my time. I will read. I will work in the yard. I will do. I don't. I think my thing is I watch mindless TV. It's my decompression, and I play Yahtzee on my phone while you watch TV. And I go, hey, you're not watching. I'm listening.
We all have our things. Do you hate it?
No, not at all.
With you traveling, that probably makes you feel better. Because I'm not like one that's like, get home from work, what can I do? What can I do?
She's out at the bar again.
Yeah.
She's out at the bar again.
Not a big fan.
Yeah. So what topics do you have for us this week?
So I do have to give you like Husband of the Year award.
Oh, I do? For what?
For watching The Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, my God.
I forced him to watch it Monday and Tuesday night, and it was 4 hours of Bachelor in Paradise.
Hell. I thought The Bachelorette was a show for hoes. I have never seen such ho-ness. Bachelor in Paradise is basically, let's just go have sex with each other until we figure out which one we like best.
Or just make out. No one's had sex on the show.
They talk about it, though.
Because they had sex
outside
before
the show. And now they're back and they go, well, I was with him before.
Right.
So there's a lot of ho-ness going on, you have to admit.
I agree. And I didn't watch, even when I started watching The Bachelor, I didn't watch The Bachelor or Bachelor in Paradise. And then slippery slope into Bachelorette. And then you start to know everyone, and now they're all going to be in Bachelor Nation.
Bachelor Nation, that's the word.
And
Bachelor
then
Nation.
They're all going to be on this beach. And so last season was the first Bachelor in Paradise I watched. Because I remember before, I thought the same thing. I was like, this is just ridiculous. This small pool of people that happen to be from Bachelor and Bachelorette are all going to hook up, and there's going to be a petri dish of things happening. But
it's still like that. And you're like, oh, that guy's from Denver. Oh, that guy's from Denver. Oh, that girl's from Colorado. And it's like, they're picking do we have a lot of hoes here?
There's a lot of single 20-somethings that come here because this is a very active state, so...
Well, the girl from Hannah.
Yeah.
What is Hannah B?
Hannah Brown.
Alabama
Hannah.
Hannah. She talked about how after she slept with everybody, that Jesus still loved her. And then on the final, her parents are sitting there.
Not her parents.
The guy's parents. We're like, we hooked up 4 times. And
Peter the pilot.
Huh?
Yeah, Peter the pilot.
We hooked up 4 times, but Jesus still loves me. So don't you... So today, I don't know if you noticed her picture on Instagram. She posted a picture on Instagram that her shirt was too short, and it was like the bottom of her boobs were hanging out.
Underboob.
It's
a style.
That's the style. Underboob. And so many people commented about, oh, yeah, Jesus loves titties. Oh, yeah. Post more pictures like that. Jesus loves that. So I think she has gone down a weird path with that whole...
Well, she had a very bad ending to her Bachelorette.
Yeah, so you should show your boobs?
I wasn't justifying that, but she's probably not in a great place right now.
Yeah.
And then her runner-up, who she thought might have a chance with, started dating Gigi Hadid, and no one can compete with Gigi Hadid.
Somebody should, because she's not that attractive.
She's a supermodel.
I don't know why. I don't know why she's a supermodel.
It's today's age. She is one of the top models in the world.
I don't get it. I don't.
That's fine. You don't have to.
I looked her up after because I didn't know who she was. Mm-hmm. Apparently, she is a sister. They're both models or something like that.
She's friends with Taylor.
The sister is attractive. Gigi is not. Gigi looks like she could be a cashier at Kentucky Fried Chicken, but you just put makeup on her and said, okay, now you're a model. honestly, that's what. Is that weird for me to say that? But that's just I don't. Supermodels were always like Cheryl Tiegs or what's Cindy Crawford, or
Elle McPherson.
Elle McPherson. Yeah, those are supermodels, not just somebody that looks like. Did you just come out of Big Lots and take the vest off? And
Dang. Okay.
is that weird?
No, it's just very abrupt.
Is that bad? I'm honest.
You are. I'm a homebody and you're an honest.
Am I bad mouthing somebody that you think is like
No, I just.
higher up the food chain?
Oh,
or-
yeah, she's definitely higher up the food chain. That's why Hannah didn't stand a chance.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Sorry. We got a lot of stuff going on in our home. Things are happening. It's home improvement time.
Oh, for the house. I just wrote the biggest check that I've ever written for anything. It wasn't even a down payment for a car was not even that big. But
It's a down payment for flooring.
we're getting the carpet pulled out of the house and hardwood floors put in.
Vinyl, right?
Well, it's fine. There's a name for it. It's not
Yeah.
really vinyl because that's like
It's not laminate.
not laminate. It's a combo of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
There's like several layers. When he showed it to you, there's all like this is the cushion, this is that, and this is this. But it looks and feels exactly
Like hardwood.
like hardwood.
But it has
But it's waterproof, pet proof, and all this
and
kind
it
of
has a
stuff.
forever warranty.
Yeah. So
Very exciting. I broke the news to my boss today. I was like, hey, we're getting our carpet pulled up, and if Steve's out of town when they want to do it, I may have to work from home for 4 or 5 days. And she kind of grimaced.
did she?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be here the entire time. It's the same.
You want me to leave strangers alone?
Well, I don't really, but they are.
Yeah.
That they said, they're bonded and that whole kind of,
She's like, well, we'll make it work. I'm like, it's only for once. I'm like,
Isn't on a regular basis.
right. I don't know if I could do 4 or 5 days from home. I may have to go into the office one day and just be like, hey, here, guys, here's the house. Don't let the dog out.
Everything hits like that at the same time. I don't know if it is for you people that are listening, but I get the letter from the HOA that we have a dead tree in the yard, and it has got
And the top had died, but there was still like some weird growth
leaves, like it was trying to
on
live.
the trunk and on the lower half.
Yeah.
So we kind of thought, well, let's see where this progresses.
Until we got a letter.
And then the HOA's like, nope.
Cut it down or we start the fines. Cut
Right.
it down or we start the fines.
So we have a guy that mows our lawn, and you were like, hey, do you cut down trees?
And he's like, no, but I know a tree service.
I know a guy.
Tree service.
Yeah.
So he comes over to cut down the tree. What happened was the bugs, beetles, got into it, and those weird limbs that are coming out is because the tree is trying to live, but it's not. That's what that weird. He goes, look at some of it doesn't look like leaves. It's just, and he goes because the roots are still trying to survive.
Aww.
But he goes, it's dead. It's over. It's done. So. He's here to cut the
sad.
trees. And while he's looking at my trees, he goes, you have a lot of wasps around your aspen trees. And he starts looking at the trees and he goes, oh, no wonder you get swarms of wasps. Your trees are covered in aphids. I'm like, what?
Who?
What?
Is that a family?
So
The aphid family?
they're these little tiny bugs that live all under the leaves. And
You showed me little black spots.
yeah, and they poop. And it turns into like
Honey.
sugar water. Yeah. And he goes, that attracts all the bees and the wasps. And he goes, you need to have these sprayed because they'll kill your trees too. I'm like, what? Are you kidding? So another big expense after writing one of the biggest checks.
Right.
I was like, what's
But then
why?
we had another tree in our backyard that had died, and I bought a chainsaw that you were going to try and teach me how to use, but instead you paid him to cut it down.
Well, I thought about that. I know we got the chainsaw, which
Because I want to learn how to use a chainsaw.
we can still definitely use that on other things. But
What? What do you use a chainsaw on?
Well, there's other like trimming the other trees and other bushes and stuff. We can use it.
A chainsaw? We have a trimmer.
It's a small small electric chainsaw.
I don't understand.
You should have seen when they showed up. Did you see the picture I sent you? They had like massive chainsaws. They had helmets with face guards. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't just step out there with a chainsaw and start trying to figure out how to keep this from falling on. I was watching them cut limbs, and they would twist and fall in a direction. Like he would one cut, two cut, like he knew exactly how to cut a limb that it would twist and fall into the street and not just down on him. I was like, oh, I see. There's a pro
method.
Technique to these things. And then when he cut the tree, I watched him. He notched it, and then sort of made it lean, and it fell into the street instead of just going out there, I guess, and I should have paid attention to what angle it was going to fall.
I thought you maybe knew that stuff.
I basically did. I mean, I've done trees, but it's watching somebody that does it for a living, that just went out there and took it down. And then they chopped it all up into tiny pieces, and his crew picked it up and hauled it away, which was another one of my things. I was like, well, if I cut it down, what am I going to do with it? So I've still got to pay somebody. It's always something when you're a homeowner.
Yeah. That is the thing. Like when we moved my dad from his home to the apartment, he had to adjust. Like I put this magnet on his refrigerator for the maintenance number. I'm like, and so when we were first moving him in, for some reason the light wouldn't come on in the bathroom, and I was like, oh, bummer. And Dad's like, what do we do? And I was like, call the maintenance number. I'm like, you don't have to worry about mowing a lawn anymore. Anytime something's broken, you call maintenance. And
is he liking living in the apartment, living over the house?
I think so. Now? I think so. Yeah. I think so. I don't know. My dad and I don't have real conversations. We just, how you doing? You doing good? Cool. All right, bye, love you.
But you call your dad every day. Almost every day.
Because
do you call your mom every day?
No.
Because I start to feel bad about myself because I call my mom once a week. That's once a week I call my mom. And I'm like, you call every day. And then when I call my mom once a week, you'll hear her go, well, if you want to call me more, if you just want to call me in the middle of the week,
But your mom has people. My dad doesn't have people. My mom has my aunt, so she has people. And my mother and I, again, don't have real conversations. Hey, how you doing? How's the weather? Cool. Love you. Miss you. Okay, bye. You've heard it. It's the same conversation.
The conversation you had with your mom after the Oak Ridge Boys story.
I was so excited.
You were so excited. You were like,
Mom, guess what? Oh. Yeah. So you get to spend the day with Steve? Yep, I do. Yeah. I do. Yeah.
But Mom, I was on stage. We did a bow with the Oak Ridge Boys. How long is Steve in town for?
Right. I'm like, never mind. Cool. So, and my mom has my aunt, so I feel like I can get away. I call her every Saturday and Sunday. And so my dad, since he doesn't have anyone, that's why that's an everyday thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I still feel like I should call my mom.
But your mom requires longer conversations.
People that are listening, if you get a chance, comment or the thing. How often do you call your parents that you don't live with? What would be the typical accepted time?
Some people talk to their parents every day and have real conversations.
I'm amazed by people that I see talking on a phone. Just in general. Do you ever see people just like in the grocery store just walking and talking?
Oh,
just walking and talking.
Me insane.
They're driving, now they're doing more hands-free stuff. But I used to see people like backing out of a driveway on the phone. Who do you need to talk to that you can't just back out of your drive? I don't talk to anybody. You and I text. Even we're on the road. We
when
text
I call you,
more
it startles you.
You're like, what? What's up? Everything okay?
You're like, what's up? And many times it's because we're texting and maybe I start driving and I can't text and I miss your voice.
Yeah.
Or I'm at work and so I'm multitasking and I have something to say to you, so I'll give you a call.
What do those people talk about, do you think, though?
I don't know.
When you see people that just talk on the phone, or like I talked to Debbie the other day, Debbie said, no, not so
Maybe it's people that have a lot of things going on with other people. I don't know.
I think it's gossipy. I think when you talk,
Yes.
a lot, it has to be about
Like,
gossiping.
oh my gosh.
Can you believe what they did at the cheerleader moms meeting this week was incredible. I could not believe it.
We watched an NCIS, an older one, the other day when it was this cul-de-sac and all the neighbors just very gossipy about each other.
Each other, like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I think it could be because they're,
We live in a cul-de-sac.
We do. That's funny you say that because I hadn't thought about it. I always think of it
Yes.
just being a street, but it goes down further and is a cul-de-sac. But,
Yeah.
But do you think we have to weird?
I know that I've been told that we have one set of neighbors, a couple, that knows what's going on at all times on the cul-de-sac. They would know when Jack and Joni would go somewhere. They pay attention
to everything.
Mm-hmm. They're retired.
Oh, okay. So we do have one of the one that leans out and cracks the curtain. Oh,
No,
they're leaving.
Janet's taking the dog out. But that's fine. I don't mind that at all. I love our neighbors. I don't know our neighbors very well, but I like our neighbors.
Well, our next door neighbor, Jack and Joni, moved.
Right.
We
have some new neighbors, Mike and Christine, with their 3 kids, and they're great.
But I was gonna say though, Jack and Joni have been there all the time that I lived in this house,
Right.
and Jack and I had just been like the kind of 2 guys that, hey, how's it going? You know, I'll watch the house while you're gone. Hey, do you want to borrow this? Hey, you know, that kind
Right.
of. We had that nice neighbor. But you didn't realize that Joni had the connection to when she starts to leave, she's like, I'll give you everybody's name and number. I'll hook you up with everything.
Yes. Our new neighbors talked about putting in a pond in their backyard, and they're like, well, if we do, maybe we can get some fish. And I was like, you probably can. We have a lot of koi.
Did they want our fish?
Yeah, he may have been joking, but I was like, we have a lot of fish.
We do.
I'm sure we could give a couple away.
Well, we probably have 20, 25, but
Yeah.
But they're like my babies. I don't go out and pet them, but you know how hard I've tried. You know what I've done to keep them alive over the years.
I've seen some things.
And now go out there now and I go, look at the size of that one. Boy, that gold one's the white and gold
maybe
one's
they won't be getting
really
a pond.
big.
Maybe they were just joking. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I just thought they were fish.
Oh no! I mean, they are just fish, but they're like kind of like family. I thought it's one of the reasons the water. I've had trouble with the water because it's green. It's got an algae. I fight the algae. It gets a little better.
You take better care of the fish than you do me. I just realized this.
But somebody once said like, well, why don't you pump out the water and just put in new one? I'm gonna go, oh, that could shock the fish. You don't know how. I've got to do whatever I can to keep these fish alive. So,
The pressure that I'm feeling right now, like when you're gone, I'm in charge of those fish. I didn't realize that you loved them so damn much.
Oh yeah, they're kind of special, more than I kind of thought, and I'm just realizing it while I'm talking.
Yeah.
My neighbor that I had when I lived in Denver when Dylan was really little.
Yeah.
My son's really little. Gosh, I wish I could think of her name. I'm blanking on her name right now. But she watched a parakeet for me.
Oh no.
And it died.
Oh no.
Yeah. And she watched a dog for me. And it died. And she said, I am not babysitting. And I go, that's a really good idea. Do not babysit.
What happened with the dog?
It was, it had gotten a very rare blood disease.
Did you have an autopsy done?
Sort of, kind of. Our neighbor that was directly lived behind me was a vet and taught at the vet school who was actually He was Dr. Kevin's teacher.
Okay.
Dr. Kevin's teacher. And so she took the dog to him because I was out of town.
Oh.
And said that there was nothing they could do. It was just a freak thing. But it was the same kind of.
See,
and the
that's what freaks me
parakeet
out.
was just old, and that was just one of those. It was just the timing. It was just an old. Nothing was done wrong. But that's the thing about pets. You never know as you look down and pet butterfly. You just never know. It's even with people. You never know when it just like.
I don't want to go there. Stop. Is there anything else we need to talk about? That's all I got.
That's about all I got too. We're at 56 minutes.
You just went down a dark little corner.
I didn't mean
Please
to. I am so sorry.
Don't do that.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. People that are listening, I apologize.
Make sure
it should end on a happier note.
You pray to Jesus and play the lotto.
Play the lotto. Pray to Jesus and play the lotto. All right. I guess you go ahead and just tell everybody how to find us.
You can find us on Instagram, Wrinkled Sheets, the number one.
One.
Okay.
Because remember, the other Wrinkled Sheets is a woman that gets very
Wrinkled
cranky.
Cheeks, the number one on Twitter. We've got Wrinkled Sheets, the number one at gmail.com. We're on Podbean. We're on Spreaker. Find us on iTunes.
Our Wrinkled Sheets video channel is up 41. We got 41 new followers.
Welcome.
Just out of boom. I guess something got shared or somebody discovered us. We got 41 new followers. So
love you guys.
Thank you guys so much for that.
Well,
Anything
until
else?
next time, I guess, bye.
Bye. Thank you. Oh, share the podcast. If you know somebody that might like, just like us and share us. And go to iTunes and please
rate us.
Give us a review and rate us.
Even if you don't like us, give us a 5-star and then just leave a comment as to why you don't like us.
Yeah, 5 stars and a comment why you don't like it. Because giving rates and reviews actually moves you up in the search engine, right? Is that how it works? I know you guys do it on your podcast too.
Yes.
So yes, rate us, review us, and share us with your friends. So.
I know this is from Remasculate, but seriously, go listen to some Oak Ridge Boys because they're freaking amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I'll end it like this is how I end my podcast, to Remasculate. So until next time, God bless America. Go listen to some Oak Ridge Boys. We bid you adieu.
Bye.